Chapter 5. More war tantrums, impound notices, and accidental business models. The tantrum did not end. It learned new tricks. Council command doubled down. Fresh directives rolled to encrypted channels. Maintain pressure. Do not relent. Human defenses must eventually show strain. Saul did not show strain. It showed patience. And then eventually, it showed teeth. The first ship Morgan Hale impounded did not feel special. It was just annoying. For 11 straight hours, the Kellen carrier Virat had been carving bright arcs across Argus Station's peripheral arrays. Not enough to threaten anything essential, just enough to scuff, rattle, and generate complaints. Same ship? Morgan asked, not looking up from her screen. Her sensor tech zoomed in on the display. The carrier's signature pulsed helpfully. Same one, he said. Virat. They've found 3 new angles to chip the paint. Morgan scrolled through her inbox. Hydroponics reporting emotional distress in the tomato vines. A yoga group complaining that shock waves were disrupting their breathing exercises. A child's drawing, forwarded by an exasperated parent, depicting the sky as angry scribbles. She exhaled through her teeth. Fine, she said. Tag them. The command was simple, written into Argus's systems for situations exactly like this. IMP, True Scope, 1 vessel, target, Virat. The station's local field generators hummed almost imperceptibly. Invisible harmonics reached out, brushed the carrier's hull, and slipped inside its systems like water through mesh. On the Virat, the gunnery officer reached for the firing command. It grayed out. He frowned. Captain, he said, weapons have gone to maintenance safe. We did not order that, the captain snapped. Override. The officer tried. The command window blinked something he had never seen before. Locked by external safety protocol, refer to station authority, Argus. A fresh alarm chimed. Engine output dropping, the helm reported. We're drifting off firing vector. Thrusters are locked to minimal. By whose authority? The captain demanded. Unknown, Helm replied. It just says, local traffic control. A third alarm. Docking clamps? The engineer said slowly. We're being pulled into a berth. No, we are not, the captain growled. Counter-thrust. Counter-thrust did nothing. The Virat's massive frame, designed to intimidate by sheer presence, slid gracefully onto a controlled glide path. Guidance beacons from Argus flickered politely. Docking arms extended, caught, and held. The carrier settled into berth 15 with the soft inevitability of a file dropped into the correct folder. On Argus traffic control, Morgan watched the docking confirmation ping. There, she said. That's better. Her assistant stared at the display. Did we just seize a council carrier? He asked. We impounded a hazard, Morgan corrected. There's a difference. She started a new document. 2. Commanding Officer, CV-993 Virat. From Local Station Authority, Argus. Hale, Morgan. Subject, impound notice. Hull liability, ongoing nuisance behavior. She typed for precisely 45 seconds. The captain of the Virat read the message 3 times. Impound notice, Argus Station, Sol System. You have engaged in repeated, low-impact, cosmetically destructive fire on civilian infrastructure and traffic lanes under our jurisdiction. Effective immediately, your vessel is held under administrative impound. You will remain docked until you provide assurance in writing that further unsolicited demonstrations will cease. You remit payment for the attached list of repair and repainting services. Fines assessed reflect actual material and labor costs. No surcharge has been added for inconvenience, emotional distress, or the spectacular stupidity of your firing pattern. Regards, M. Hale, Local Station Authority, Argus. Attached below was a neatly itemized invoice. It was not small. It was also not outrageous. Materials, labor, hazard overtime, a modest environmental scrub fee for burnt particulates. The captain's first instinct was pure outrage. "They can't do this," he said. "Technically," his legal officer replied, "they just did." "That's not what I—" A chime sounded again. Another message. "To CV-993 Virat. Subject, courtesy amenities. While impounded, your crew is welcome to station common areas subject to normal guest conduct policy. Meals, rest quarters, and basic recreational services are available. You may send individual personnel to the Argus Administrative Office to discuss the invoice. P.S. We have a cafe with beverages that tested well with Kellen physiology. Consider this a gesture of hospitality, not an endorsement of your taste in orbital graffiti. M. Hale." The captain stared at that for a long time. "Schedule a delegation," he said finally. "I want to see this Hale myself." The first council outburst came hours later in the central chamber, when a summary of the incident hit the high-priority queue. "They seized a carrier," the defense minister said flatly. "It's impounded," the speaker replied. "There's a difference. They have no authority to detain council assets. They have the only authority that matters," another elder counselor said dryly, "physical control." "They invoiced us," someone added, scandalized. The invoice appeared in the chamber's holo. Rows of costs, clearly documented. No gouging, no mockery, no hidden surcharges, just work. The rage didn't come from the numbers. It came from the fact that nothing in the document acknowledged the council's status. It treated them like any other tenant who'd scuffed a wall. "Refuse payment," the defense minister snapped. "Order them to release the ship. If they don't, we escalate." "And if they simply keep the ship?" Telek asked quietly from his place in the upper ring. "We have already proven we cannot hurt their infrastructure meaningfully. Are you eager to demonstrate that we also cannot retrieve our own vessels?" Silence briefly before someone muttered, "This is extortion." "No," Telek said. "This is bureaucracy, the more dangerous of the two." The humans did not escalate. They did something worse. They were reasonable. After 2 days docked at Argus, 2 days in which the Virat's crew sampled the cafe, slept in proper gravity, and discovered just how tired they had been, the payment went through. Not from the council treasury, from a discretionary fleet maintenance fund that had never been intended for fines. The moment the transfer cleared, Argus released the impound lock. Docking clamps retracted. Engine control returned to the carrier's bridge, along with one more notification. To CV-993 Virat. Subject, completion of services. Payment received. Thank you for settling your account in a timely manner. As a courtesy, Argus station technicians have recalibrated your inertial dampers. They were drifting 6% out of spec. Patched microfractures in your port thruster housing. Corrected a misalignment in your forward sensor array. This work was performed at no additional charge. Future voluntary maintenance visits may be scheduled through standard traffic control. Please do not shoot at my station again. M. Hale. On departure, the Virat's helmsman eased them out, then blinked at his readouts. "Captain," he said, "we're lighter." "In what sense?" he asked. "Response time, turning radius. Our fuel efficiency curve just improved by 15%. Someone tuned us." The captain watched the stars slide across the viewport. Argus rotated away behind them, indifferent. "File a full systems report," she said. "Mark work origin as Sol Station, Argus. Classification, restricted." He hesitated then. "And don't tell command they fixed our dampers. They'll ask why it took a human administrator to do it." That should have been the end of it. It was instead the beginning of something new and unintended. By the end of the week, 3 more ships had been impounded for Persistent nuisance fire. Each time, their weapons and engines quietly locked. They were drift-guided into a berth. They received invoices that were annoying but fair. They paid, they left. And each time, crews reported the same thing. You feel that? Thrusters are smoother. Targeting lock is tighter. Fuel numbers just jumped. Whispers started in private officer channels. They upgraded you? Just a little. Cleaned out errors. For how much? Less than a full refit back home, and the coffee's better. Officially, no one entertained the notion. Unofficially, ship captains with creaky systems and overdue maintenance looked long and hard at their tactical orders. Seoul Theater, sir. High firing load. High probability of impoundment. Impoundment, their superiors said, as if tasting something sour. Yes, sir, very regrettable, but if we must endure it for the glory of the Council, we might as well come back with tuned engines. Morgan Hale did not notice the pattern immediately. She noticed an increase in repeat offenders. This is the third time that frigate has accidentally threaded a beam through Dock 10's shadow, her assistant said, highlighting the trajectory. It's like they're aiming near us. Morgan squinted at the orbit plots. Weapons fire that curved just a little too close. Engine signatures that stuttered theatrically in unfortunate malfunctions, right in front of Argus's traffic cone. Ships that protested very loudly and on open channels about being unfairly impounded, and then sent private thank you notes after release. She pulled up their maintenance logs. Her maintenance logs. Impound, invoice, repair, quiet little efficiency bump, release, over and over. Oh no, she said. Her assistant leaned in. Oh no what? We've become a discount garage, she said, for warships. The realization spread through Argus's back-end systems faster than it did through the Council. Union Hall helped. Someone, no one ever proved who, posted an anonymized breakdown of average performance improvements post-impound at Sol. It was formatted like a joke. It read like a temptation. Can confirm, a Thailand engineer replied. Our reactor variance dropped by 8% after an extended stay at Argus. No surcharge. Humans called it tidying up while we were already in there. Our carrier's roll response improved, a VESC officer added. Unofficially, I am not telling any of you this. A human in the thread, user tag at Argus facilities, replied, Stop encouraging them. MH. The thread reacted with a wave of laughing glyphs. In the Council's upper echelons, the issue appeared in the worst possible way, as a budget anomaly. We are seeing unplanned efficiency spikes in certain fleets assigned to Seoul Theater, a logistics analyst reported. Fuel expenditure down, maintenance requests down, performance metrics up. That's good, said the finance minister. Isn't it? It would be, the analyst said, if it were due to our actions. Slowly, painfully, the truth filtered upward. By the time it reached the defense minister, it had acquired a name, the Argus problem. You are telling me, he said carefully, that our captains are deliberately allowing themselves to be impounded by a quarantine system in order to receive cheap, unsanctioned upgrades? Not deliberately, sir, the analyst said. Officially, they are merely failing to avoid repeated nuisance fire patterns in proximity to the station. And unofficially? Unofficially, yes. In his private study, Talek read the same report. He put his head in his hands. We have lost them, he muttered. We have lost our own fleets to better customer service. Morgan's patience did not last much longer than Talek's. The tipping point was a Halen corvette that broadcast its distress in a way only technically distinguishable from a performance. Emergency, the corvette's captain cried over open channel as his ship began an extremely graceful spin. Our stabilizers have failed right in front of your standard impound corridor. We are at the mercy of your superior docking systems. Morgan listened to the audio twice. Then she keyed a direct line. "Corvette HAL 17, she said. "This is Argus LSA. Cut the theatrics. You scraped my observational ring last time you were here." "Ah," the captain replied, instantly dropping the panic. "Administrator Hale, always a pleasure. About those stabilizers." "Your stabilizers are fine," she said. "I toggled them myself. You're impounded for being annoying." "Excellent," he said, then caught himself. "I mean, how tragic. Shall we discuss pricing?" "No," Morgan said. "We're done." She opened a new protocol. Impounded, true services, disable only upgrades, none. On the HAL 17's bridge, controls died with all the finality of a flip switch. "Docking clamps?" the helm asked, almost hopefully. "Negative," engineering said. "We're stuck in a powered idle." A message appeared on the captain's console. "To HAL 17, subject, you know what you did. You are impounded for intentional misuse of our patience. You will not be upgraded. You will not be tuned. You will sit there until your command structure decides it is in their interest to stop treating my station like a discount service port and my orbit like a stage. I have attached a list of the last 6 emergency malfunctions that just happened to occur in our lanes. Your acting skills are poor. Your engineering is worse. When the council stops throwing rocks at my home, we will consider resuming normal hospitality. Until then, enjoy the view. M. Hale." The captain said. His crew leaned in. "Oh," one of them said softly. "She's mad." Union Hall found out within the hour. A human user posted a cropped version of the message. Caption: "M. Hale has left the chat." Responses rolled in. "Wait, they were using Sol as a mod shop? You can't blame them. The humans do good work." Council command: "Why are we losing the war?" Fleet captains: "We're not. We're just getting slightly better fuel economy." Then someone from Sol, no one could tell if it was Morgan herself or some mischievous dockhand, dropped a new thread. To the council: "Stiffs still taking themselves too seriously. You want to act like you're in charge of the galaxy? Fine, act like it. Stop flinging tantrum fire at my station. Stop sending your ships to accidentally fall into our impound lanes. Stop pretending you don't enjoy the coffee. Take a spin in one of the ships we just sent back. They're twice as fast and burn half the fuel. You're welcome. A friend." The thread exploded. Alien engineers argued in the comments about the exact efficiency gains. Human comedians made mock recruitment posters. "Join the Soul Theater. Come for the war. Stay for the updates." One commentator summed it up. Only humans could turn a punitive bombardment into a loyalty program. By the time the council realized just how bad it looked, the damage was no longer in ships or panels. It was in perception. Their armadas no longer inspired fear. They inspired memes. Captains no longer spoke of the Soul Campaign. They spoke of visiting Argus. And every time someone, somewhere, tried to reassert the old narrative of council dominance, 1,000 eyes rolled and a few million hands typed, "Tell that to the woman who impounded your carrier and made it run better." In a quiet moment on his flagship, Vor Keth read the latest directive from the council. Ask them their terms. He forwarded it to the designated channel. The reply from Sol came back almost instantly. "We have no terms." Keth stared at the words. "We are already doing the thing that matters. You may continue firing if it helps you process what has happened to your pride. You are free to leave. You are free to stay. You are free to come down and have coffee. You are not required to like us." A pause. Then one final line. "When you are done being angry, your citizens are already helping us build something that will save their grandchildren. You are welcome to join them." Keth read it twice. He thought of Morgan Hale, standing in a docking bay with her data pad, and her impossible, stubborn insistence that everyone under her roof behave themselves. He thought of the human children who had pressed their hands to the shuttle window to see him better. He closed the message and issued no new firing orders.